I didn't realize my career was slowly killing my spirit. On the outside, it looked impressive. Deadlines met. Projects delivered. Goals checked off with robotic precision. But inside, something felt heavy, a quiet ache I couldn't name. I told myself this was just what it meant to be ambitious, to hustle, to prove myself worthy in a world that never stops demanding more. I thought that constant exhaustion was the price of success. That burning out was some twisted badge of honor. That if I just kept pushing, I would eventually arrive at some imaginary finish line where peace finally waited. Then I stumbled upon a line so simple, so soft, that I almost skipped over it. Don't sacrifice what is permanent for what is immediate. I read it again. Then again. Because it didn't sound like some loud, motivational command. It felt like a whisper. A gentle reminder that everything I thought I was building might actually be burning me from the inside out. I realized I was constantly trading my long-term well-being for short-term validation. I was sacrificing my health, my relationships, my creativity, all for the next urgent email, the next client request, the next momentary praise. The immediate always screamed louder than the permanent. But this quote reminded me, the things that matter most often speak softly. And if you don't make space to hear them, you'll lose them before you even realize they're gone. I started to see how my career had become a performance. A carefully crafted image. A collection of metrics and milestones designed to keep me feeling safe, admired, significant. But when I paused long enough to really listen, I saw that the cost was far greater than I had ever admitted. I was sacrificing rest for deadlines. Authenticity for approval. Joy for achievement. And what was left? A shell that looked successful on the outside, but felt empty within. You can win the world and lose yourself. That realization shook me. Because I was on track to get everything I thought I wanted. But at the same time, I was quietly losing the parts of me that made life worth living. This quote forced me to ask a question I had avoided for years. What am I building, and is it actually aligned with the life I want to live? I realized that no promotion, no award, no praise is worth losing my peace. That no paycheck can replace mornings filled with real laughter. That no recognition can heal a mind constantly at war with itself. We're told to keep grinding. To keep proving. To keep moving as if slowing down means falling behind. But what if falling behind is exactly what we need? Falling behind the expectations that don't serve us. Falling behind the constant rush to impress. Falling behind the illusion that we are only as good as our latest win. This quiet quote invited me to redefine success entirely. Not as an endless climb, but as a deepening. Not as accumulation, but as alignment. Not as a sprint, but as a journey walked with intention and care. Protect what is permanent, your health, your soul, your relationships. Because those are the things that hold you when the rest of the world falls away. I began to ask myself before every decision, will this choice nourish me in the long run, or is it just feeding my ego in the moment? That single shift changed everything. I started saying no to projects that drained me, even if they were lucrative. I started setting boundaries around my time, even if it meant disappointing others. I started reconnecting with hobbies and passions I had long abandoned in the name of productivity. Slowly, I felt my energy returning. My creativity started to breathe again. My mornings stopped feeling like battles, and started feeling like invitations. I learned that the most valuable currency isn't money or accolades, it's peace. And peace doesn't come from external victories. It comes from living in alignment with what actually matters to you. If success costs you your peace, it's too expensive. That quote didn't just save my career, it saved my life. Because my career was never meant to be my entire identity. It was meant to be an expression of my gifts, not a prison for my soul. Now, I measure success differently. Not by how many people clap when I speak, but by how true my words feel to me. Not by the size of my following, but by the depth of my fulfillment. Not by external milestones, but by internal moments of presence and joy. I no longer need to sacrifice what is permanent for what is immediate. Because I finally understand that the moments I used to dismiss as unproductive, slow mornings, quiet evenings, real conversations, are the very things that keep me sane, whole, alive. What you build externally means nothing if it costs you everything internally. If you're on a similar path, maybe this is your invitation to pause. To listen to that quiet voice you've been ignoring. To remember that your worth is not tied to your output. That you're allowed to rest without guilt. That your life is not a project to perfect, but a story to live deeply. In the end, The quote that quietly saved my career wasn't loud. It didn't demand. It didn't shame. It simply offered me a choice: to keep chasing the immediate and lose myself, or to honor the permanent and find a deeper kind of success. I chose the latter. And I'm still choosing it every single day.